press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to yet another session of English grammar. Today we are going to learn subject-verb agreement. You have already known a lot of grammar till now, yet something that is also very important for you for your exam point of view and for your day-to-day communication. This is the fourth one in your workbook, subject-verb agreement after verbs. Now you have already studied and known what is a verb, how do you use a verb, where do you use them. What is it? It's a action. Any action that is specified. I'm talking to you is a action. You are watching me is a action. Anything that we are doing for a purpose as such is a action. It's a verb. Now today when we are going to learn subject-verb agreement, that is an agreement between the subject and the verb. Now for example, she is talking. She is talking. She is the subject. I am the subject, isn't it? She is the subject. Talking is the action which forms the verb. Now, my subject and verb must agree with each other, and that is called a subject-verb agreement. I cannot say she is teaches. No, it's wrong. She is teaches is wrong. She is teaching is right. She teaches is right. She taught is right. Then she taught the students. She is teaching the student. She teaches the students. All right, but you have to use it correctly. This is basically used for your better grammatical usage and to avoid those grammatical errors that are there. Now, we'll write something. You can take this down, and further after that I will give you certain rules that you will have to follow while using the subject-verb agreement, and then we will see certain examples where you can easily comprehend after that. So, first write what is a subject. About what or whom we are talking about. Okay, about what or whom we are talking. Next, verb. This we have already known. What is it? It's an action. Tells us what the subject is or are doing, singular or plural. If there is one subject, what that subject is doing alone. If there are many, what those many are doing. So subject is the person or the thing we are actually talking about, and the verb is the action of what the subject is doing. Now, conclusion, subject must agree with the verb. Okay, subject must agree with the verb and then it becomes subject verb agreement. Now we will see basic sentences first and then move on. See examples. The lion roared. The lion roared. The lion becomes the subject. The word roared becomes verb. Okay. So lion becomes the subject. Roared becomes the verb. The boys. Okay. The boy went to school. Now, in this sentence, the boy went to school. The boy is the subject. Went or went to together becomes the verb. Okay, going, went, go, going, he went. Alright, subject and the verb alike. The girls danced. Girls is the subject, dance is the verb. Girls is the subject, dance is the verb. Now in case we say the student is writing. The student is writing. The student becomes the subject. We'll write it here. The student is the subject, writing becomes the verb. The teacher is talking. The teacher is the subject, talking is an action, that is the verb. The players are playing. Players are the subject together and they are playing is the action what they are doing, that is the verb. Okay. Now I will stop at the basic sentences. We will move forward and understand certain rules that are there. Now what I am telling you, now what we are going to begin from now, it will not come like that in the exam. This is the background that you must know. In your exam point of view, it will come write the correct form of the verb which agrees, write the correct form of the verb which agrees with the subject. All or just a second. Okay. Pick the correct form of the verb that agrees with the subject. Something like that will come for your exam, and it will also come in a paragraph like which we also studied in the verbs. Now, few more sentences. You see, we laughed. We is the subject there, but laughed is the verb. They are singing. They, subject, singing is the verb. Boys are cycling. Call them, he called. The first one among them now, you must take this down, that is subject plus verb. Now I want you to concentrate properly on what I am going to try to tell you, because you get your base, then answering those questions will be much easier. Alright. So subject plus verb is the first one. This is the same thing that I told you just now, all these sentences. Yet we will write few examples for your understanding. We laughed. Okay, we is the subject, laughed is the verb. The second one, the students are the subject. Students the students passed their examination. Past is the verb. Then the other examples that I told you in the beginning. We'll move to the second one. Okay, subject plus verb plus direct object. So subject plus verb plus direct object. The second one is subject. You already know what subject is. You already know what verb is. Let me tell you what a direct object is. Now, for example, Ram wrote the shadows. Okay, I'll put down the example and then we'll see. Ram wrote the shadow. Shadow is the name of the book, an imaginary name. Okay, Ram wrote the shadows. Now you know Ram is the subject, wrote, writing is the verb. So Ram is the subject, wrote is the verb. He wrote what? He wrote the shadows. I am going slow because you must understand it properly in order to understand something else later. Shadows. He has written that book. That is a direct connection, a direct link to him. So this becomes the direct object. The teacher distributed chocolates. We'll write it. The teacher distributed chocolates. The teacher is the subject. She is doing an action. What is that action of? She is distributing something. Distributing becomes the verb and chocolates becomes what? The direct object. You concentrate properly, you will understand it. Write down at least 2 or 3 examples for your reference. Next, one more example we'll write. 1 or 2 of examples. She narrated a story. She narrated a story. She narrated a story is the next example. She becomes a subject, you know. Narrated becomes the verb also, you know. Now, you also know that story is the direct object. I hope you're following, students. She is doing that action. She is not getting it done through somebody else. She herself is doing it. Okay, one more example. He bought the mangoes. He, subject, bring, bought. Okay, bought is he has done some action there. He has bought the mangoes. Mangoes are the direct object. All right. The third one is, first is subject plus verb, next is subject plus verb plus direct object, next is subject plus verb plus subject complement. subject plus verb plus subject complement. Now, somebody is dressed very beautifully and we say, you look gorgeous, you look beautiful, you look handsome, you look dashing, whatever you add, etc. Okay? What are we doing? We are complimenting them. We are saying good about them. Who is good about them? Who is that they there? The subject. Now, we have a birthday boy or a girl in the class and they wear some colorful clothes for us and then we say, you look good today. The shirt looks good on you. The color is very pleasing. You look dashing. Okay? You look handsome, you look beautiful, you look gorgeous, whatever it is. What are you doing? Whoever the boy or the girl is, you're complimenting them. Isn't it? Complimenting them. You're saying good about them. You're wishing them good. Here, the same thing applies. Subject plus verb plus subject complement. Now, here we'll see. Example. If you're following what I'm writing, you will get it. Otherwise, if you see it at once, it will look like a mixture for you. Here, the first example is, he looked good. He looked good. Now here again a mistake you all always make, some of them, not all. Looked. No looked. Okay, it's looked. The ending is to. What is it? To, not looked. Don't make this mistake anywhere in case you're doing it, okay? Right now I cannot observe you, so it will be a generalized statement that I make out of the observations that I've already made. Okay, so looked, okay? He looked good, whoever that he is, okay? Whoever that he is, he looked good. So he is the subject there, looking is the verb there, and good or handsome or dashing or whatever becomes the subject complement. You are complimenting that fellow, whoever, write whosever name you want here, but he, whosever name, even if you write, they become the subject there. And you're complimenting them. That is a subject complement. Alright, she was looking beautiful. Okay, put was together, auxiliary verb there, helping verb. Okay, is, was, we have already learned it. She is the subject here. Was is the verb. I hope you're getting. Beautiful is the subject complement. Now, it need not necessarily be only handsome, beautiful, gorgeous, dashing, okay, all these words. It can also be, she's very intelligent, she's a genius, okay, she sings melodiously, she's a great dramatist, or she's a great actor, something like that. Okay, you're complimenting them. That whatever they are doing their best. So always not in comparison with others, but you must be your best, isn't it? You must be your best, whatever it is. Convince somebody the way you can, not copy it. Here, likewise, you compliment your subject. Okay. We'll move to the next one. Before I erase, I'll tell it to you again and then we can brush it up and then go forward. First is the subject plus the verb. The subject plus the verb. Then the subject plus the direct object. I want you to take this down. Come what may, please write it anywhere and keep, or at least there in the last pages of your workbook, so that you don't lose on the papers that are there. Because while you refer back, you understand the examples properly. There are many more things to go now. So if you don't understand this, that is confusing. Subject, verb, direct, object. Next is subject plus verb plus subject complement. Moving on, we will see the next one. All right. Next is subject plus verb plus direct object plus object complement. Fourth one. Subject and verb also exists everywhere. Subject plus verb plus direct object. Okay, in the previous sentences when I was writing DOSC is direct object and subject complement. Direct object and object complement. So S plus V plus GO plus OC. Okay, that is subject plus verb plus direct object plus object complement. There what did you do? You complemented the subject. Here what are you doing? Here you are complementing the object. That's it. Now, he named, okay, example. He named his son Amit. He named his son Amit. He is the subject, naming becomes the verb named. His son is the direct object, related, isn't it? Naming him Amit is the object complement. So here he is the subject, named is the verb, his son is the direct object, and Amit is the object, OC is object complement. He and named, you understand? Subject and verb is already understood, is what I assume. Direct object is already what we discussed. That his son is related to him, isn't it? His son is related to him, so he becomes the direct object obviously, and then he naming him Amit is like a complement to him, that is object complement. Alright. Next one. Kavita called Neha a genius. Kavita is a genius is subject complement. Kavita called Neha a genius. Following? Kavita called Neha a genius. So it is not said that Kavita is a genius. Kavita is genius, no. Kavita has called whom? Kavita has called Neha to be genius. So Kavita, okay, Kavita becomes the subject, called becomes the verb, Neha is what? The direct object. She is referring to Neha, isn't it? So she becomes the direct object there. And genius becomes the object complement. Next. Okay. The principal said, the principal told that the students are intelligent. The principal told that the students are intelligent. So the principal is the subject, isn't it? The principal is the subject. He telling something becomes the verb there. Who is the direct object? The students are the direct object, and intelligent becomes the object complement, because he or she, the principal, is referring to whom? Students, and specifying that they are intelligent. Moving on, we'll go to the next one. Okay, henceforth I am going to write subject verb S plus V. Okay, so next one is S plus V plus indirect object plus direct object. DO is direct object. So S plus V plus IO plus DO. Okay, this is your formula. S plus V plus IO plus DO. Indirect object. Till now we studied object complement, subject complement, direct object. Now there is something called as an indirect object. Now here, okay, example, Aslam gave Nargis the flowers. Aslam, example is, Aslam gave Nargis the flowers. Okay, Aslam gave Nargis the flowers. Aslam is the subject, gave is the verb, Nargis is the direct object. Interchange it, no problem. The flowers is the indirect object. So what is it? Aslam gave Nargis the flowers. Aslam is the subject, gave is the verb, Nargis is the direct object. He is giving the flowers to whom? Gave there. He is giving the flowers to Nargis directly. He is giving the flowers directly to Nargis, but what has he given her? He has given her the flowers, so that becomes the indirect object. Now, another example, headmaster asked the students to bring chocolates. The headmaster asked the students to bring chocolates. So the sentence is, the headmaster asked the students to bring chocolates. Who is the subject here? The headmaster is the subject. He asking them to do something is the verb. The students become the direct object. What has he asked the direct object to do? To bring chocolates. Chocolates becomes the indirect object. I hope this is very much clear to you. Now, Okay. Take this as a love triangle. Okay. I'll tell you how. There is, see, there is a subject. Loving is the verb. Okay. You are loving somebody, and the other person is also loving. That becomes the indirect object. Let's take this subject to be a boy or a girl, whatever, vice versa you do here. Loving is the verb, isn't it? Loving is the verb. Direct object is whoever you are loving, boy or girl. Indirect object is somebody else also loving the same person. Understand? Like this. Between is your love. I loving somebody is my subject, verb and a direct object. Indirect object is somebody else also coming in between. Okay. I hope at least with the example you understood. We'll move further and understand some other rules, and then we will, so this is what it is, but there are some other rules that we have to understand, that we will understand, and then we will move further into doing certain exercises which will help you, because there again you're going to get in brackets, you'll have to just choose and write, yet you must know what to do when it is singular, what to do when it is plural, isn't it? So I'll tell you how to do it, all some kind of addition and minus that you have to do, and I think with that you can figure out what subject verb agreement is in total. All right. Now the next heading you can write as like important points. Now from here it's going to help you make your sentences better. All right, now write just a second. Okay. If the subject is singular, you add s. If the subject is plural, you minus the s. This is what I will tell you now. Okay, write it like this. Singular subject, plural subject, okay, singular subject, plural subject. If the subject is singular, you add s. I'll tell you how. The subject is plural, you minus s, okay. Subject is singular, you add s. Subject is plural, you minus s. I'll tell you in the statement. Now you think the subject is singular here. We'll write an example. The dog, okay. The dog chases the cat. Okay, the dog chases the cat. Here, the dogs chase the cat. Okay. Now let you observe this first example, and then we will move forward into few other examples that are there. Alright. Now look at a singular subject here. Who is a singular subject? The dog is the singular subject. So what you have to do? Plus s. Where? To the verb here. So what have you done? Chases. Chases. Okay, the sound z comes, not s. Chases. So you have added s over here, chases the cat. If the subject is plural here, dogs, plural. So what you have to do? Minus s to the verb there. So have we minused s? Yes, we have minused s by saying the dogs chase the cat. Here, the dog chases the cat. I hope you're figuring it out. We'll see a few more examples now. Now you should work out as I work out. The student works hard. The students work hard. I'll give you same examples here and there so that you understand. So see the plus yes and minus yes. See here, the student works hard. Student is singular there. So works becomes an addition of the s, which is works. Same thing you see here, the students work hard. This is how you will get in your exam. But you will also have to know where you will have to use your auxiliary verbs. So understand the auxiliary verbs first properly and then come and learn this in case you have not yet understood. In case you have understood, I appreciate you very good, but figure this out some way, because this is there for your exam point of view and for your day-to-day communication, isn't it? You need to talk properly. You need to enhance your language skills. And English is a widely known language. You have to know it, come what may. Wherever you go, at least there will be somebody, at least in some organization, at least somewhere, you need to talk. And when you need to talk, you have the language, a common or the medium to be English, then there is no option left for you to use your local languages, isn't it? Local languages will stay. I also have my own mother tongue. I have the local languages in my locality, but that is of no use for me here, because the local language in my place, people may not understand in a certain other area. But English is some language that everybody understands. So to enhance your language skills, you should also know how to use your subject verb and agree it properly. Just like an agreement between two countries, isn't it? What is done? A friendship is done. You also have to make good friendship with the language of English. English is a nice language. It is interesting. It can be as sarcastic as possible and it can be as decent as possible. It's all the way you use it. You can be as bad as you can with the language of English. You can be as good as possible with the language of English. What is important? Your presence there is important. Your way of dealing with it is important. So I'm hoping you're figuring this out. The student works hard, the students work hard. I'm going to give you one more example. Susan drives to work. Okay, here a plural subject. Susan and Karen drive to work. Susan there was alone, she was a singular subject, so she drives to work. Here it's a plural subject of whom two people being involved, plurality that is there, drive to work. Alright. So singular subject, add yes to the verb right here, otherwise you will forget. Verb minus to the verb, minus s to the verb. So this is your formula again. Singular subject plus s to v plus s to v, plural subject meaning minus s to v, that is verb. Okay. Now, few other things that you have to know. This is one way of singular and plural subject that you have to know. Few other things that you have to know. I'll tell that to you and then we'll move ahead. Okay. Now, when it's joined by compound words, okay, and between, okay, between is also a preposition as such. It's joined by a compound subject that is there. Even if the subject is plural, you must treat individual parts as singular. Okay, I'll write it down for you. Then you'll understand. Write that like that. Write it like as I'm writing it. When the parts of a compound subject okay, when the parts of the compound subject are joined by and, treat the subject as plural. Okay, I said it vice versa. Treat the subject as plural even if the individual parts are singular. Okay. Now, the example is, see, Dan and Dawn get their share of oranges. Dan and Dawn get their share of what is it? Oranges. Okay. Now, Dan and Dawn are two people. We took it as plural, isn't it? We understand it as plural because two are there. But when it is joined by and, even if it is plural, you treat them as singular, and when it comes to the verb here, you minus. Okay? Not gets. Get. Okay? Get. So this is one way of knowing it. Why okay, I said it wrong, I'm sorry. That is what I was thinking, why it is not plus yes. Okay, I'm sorry students, it is a mistake. I was just trying to figure out why it is not a plus yes, because I told you the other way around previously. Now, treat the subject as plural, okay. Now you get it, I'm sorry, forget what I told you just now, but understand this properly now. Treat the subject as plural even if the individual parts are singular. Yes, you're right. That's why plural you plus yes. Okay. Wait a second, I got confused. Not plus yes, minus yes. Minus yes, you're right. Minus s, there is no s over here. Treat the subject as plural even if the individual parts are singular. Okay, even if they stand alone, you have to consider them as plural, and that is why the verb goes minus s. Okay, I told you twice wrongly. I'm really sorry for it. I got confused with it. I'm going to tell it again. Now this will be the right one. Okay, now they are together individually singular, isn't it? Even if their individual parts are singular, you got to treat them plural, and when it comes in the verb you minus s, so it's get their share of oranges. Okay, get their share of oranges. There are other things, we'll just see that along. Even if you didn't understand this, remember the previous one I told you, singular subject and plural subject, that is enough. Okay, in case you didn't understand this this confusion that I did for you, please understand that singular subject and the plural subject. Yet if you have understood after I corrected, thank you for understanding. Okay, now okay, when subjects are joined by or nor, now in this case, or nor, what you are supposed to do? Now when the parts are joined, when the subject, parts of the subject are joined by or nor, the subject part nearest to the verb will determine whether the verb is plural or singular. Is singular or plural. Okay, I am concentrating now. When it is joined by or nor, what is it? The subject part nearest to the verb will decide whether the verb is singular or plural. Now example like this. Okay. Okay. Just a second. Okay, example. Grandpa or my sisters dash going to the park. Now is for singular, are is for plural. Is, was, has, have, were, yes, is, was, have, has, were. This is what you are going to get. So grandpa or my sisters dash going to the park. Now what is our rule? If it is being joined by or nor, what is it? The subject part nearest to the verb Which is the subject part nearest to the verb? Sisters. Sisters is nearest to the verb here. Will decide what? Will decide whether the verb is singular or plural. Now what you have to just fill in the blank there. This is how you are going to get. Fill in the blank there. Grandpa, he is alone. Yes, he is alone. He is singular here, but sisters become plural. So this are comes here, are going. That becomes many people going. Whichever is closest will decide whether it is singular or plural. Okay. Neither she nor I dash going to college. Now, what is it? The subject part nearest to the verb will decide whether the verb is singular or plural. Who is the subject that is nearest to the verb? I is nearest to the verb. Neither she nor I'll give you the option in brackets, are or am. I is going to decide. She is not going to decide. Neither she nor I, either one of them, dash going to college. So what is closest to the verb will decide whether it is singular or plural. Neither she nor I am going to college. Okay. So this is how it is done. Okay. Now, certain exercises are there in your workbook. Very simple, little of them are there. Yet before that, okay. Now, one more thing I have to tell you. When we use collective nouns, that depends on the statement whether you consider it to be singular or plural. When you use collective nouns, the statement will decide whether it is singular or plural. I'll show you two examples here. The judges have awarded the highest marks for their class. Okay. The judges have awarded the highest marks for their class. Next sentence. The judges gave their opinions. Now, can you figure out any difference in this sentence? Both the places it is judges, yet this is taken to be singular, this is taken to be plural. I'll tell you how. The judges have awarded, the judge has awarded. Have and has is what you will get for your exam. Judges have. They all have done it together. but they are taken as one single entity. The judges have awarded highest mark for their class. All of them have added, all of them have put, which is added together for the total. So this entity of judges is taken as one being, singular, okay, because they all are acting as one. All marks will be counted. Now if you, I and somebody else is a judge, will our marks be taken separately? No. What will they be done? Whoever takes the end result will total all marks that we have awarded, and then a final score comes. If we have awarded all 10, 10, 10 for a certain class, obviously going to become 30. So as a single entity, those judges are taken. Maybe for a fashion show, 3 judges have awarded certain marks. That is one group taken as singular. Alright, so judges have awarded the highest marks for their class. Next is the judges gave their opinions. Now, judges gave their opinions. Individually they are acting. Individually they are acting, therefore the verb goes as plural. Okay, the verb goes as plural. Alright, now we will see a few more examples and then we can wind up. Okay. Now I'll work out some workbook exercises for you. Every seat in the bus, open the workbook if you have page number 15. Every seat in the bus, dash a number. Every seat in the bus has a number. Each one of them is taken. All the seats in the bus have a number. You get it? Every seat in the bus has a number. All seats in the bus have a number. That's it. All seats in the bus have numbers. Okay, that's the second. One of my friends dash visiting me this evening. One of my friends. Out of the whole lot of people, one of them is visiting you. So it should become one of the friends is visiting me. My friends are visiting me. Okay. A number of questions dash asked in the interview. A number of questions were asked. A particular question was asked. Do you see singular and plural? Number of questions were asked. The crowd dash dispersed by the police. The crowd is taken as one single entity. The crowd was dispersed. People in the crowd were dispersed. Okay? So, singular, we'll write it here. Singular, plural, has, have. Okay, then what else did we get? One of my friends is, are. Then what did we get? Was, were. Okay, the crowd was dispersed by the police. The Prime Minister with his cabinet colleagues dash arrived, have arrived. The Prime Minister is there, his cabinet colleagues are also there. Large group, isn't it? So, have. The captain of the Indian team as well as the players dash here, are here. All of them are there. The captain of the Indian team is here. The captain of the team along with his players are here. Either intelligence or hard work dash required to get good marks. Either one of them. Intelligence, either you need intelligence or either you need hard work. So, is required. Intelligence and hard work both are required. Both intelligence and hard work are required to get good marks. I hope you're following. Is, are. Neither Gopal nor Suresh are meeting. Neither. It is not both together, not Gopal and Suresh together. Neither Gopal nor Suresh. Not Gopal, not even Suresh attend our meetings. There is meetings there. See, attend our meeting. Meetings. Krishnamurti or Narayan will dash food to the guests. Serve food to the guests. Many people there, the verb will go singular and one of them will do it. Now you correct the following sentence there. Slow and steady wins the race. A stitch in time saves 9. S there. Economics is an interesting subject. 1 is. A bunch of keys has been found. Okay, bunch of keys, it's 1. Different keys have been found. A bunch meaning 1 together. Okay, so has. Measles is a dangerous disease. Measles is. Measles, tuberculosis are dangerous diseases. Okay, that's how you do it. Now I worked out all the examples for you. Anyway, no problem. I want you to practice some examples on your question paper point of view. I'll give you 1, 2, 3 examples more. His father and grandmother dash arrived, have or has. Have arrived. His father and grandmother have arrived. The leader and patriot dash lost. The is or are. The leader and patriot dash is lost because the leader and patriot is the same person. Like the creator and the producer of the film, if it is the same person, then he has done it. Or the creator and the producer have done it. Figuring it out? Okay. So the leader and patriot is the same person, so is lost. The country has lost it. Country has lost a leader and the patriot. Then, kindness as well as justice dash this. Requires or require. Kindness as well as justice requires this. Kindness as well as justice. Kindness or justice, kindness or justice require this. Kindness as well as justice requires this. Okay? Alright. I think I can stop. It's a long time we have learned subject verb agreement. Now, I have my own kind of an assignment for you. Not to submit it to me, please don't do, but for your practice. Go and look up to practice questions of your first PUC English textbook. There are 2 model question papers in your English textbook, as well as if you look up to the internet, you are going to get questions. In today's class, I haven't worked out questions from the old question papers, but why I didn't work out is because you have to know these simple sentences first, and those simple sentences will be put together to give you it for 3 or most probably 4, okay, 3 or 4 marks. Practice them. Use the correct form of the verb that agrees with the subject is your question in the exam point of view. Even if it is not exam point of view, I want you to learn. You should know where you have to use has, have, is, are, was, were. You can't be making mistakes, silly mistakes in this. If you want to write down, write properly. Singular and plural, has, have, is, are, was, were. Okay? Now, I want you to refer it to the tenses also. and understand. Just type first few see subject verb agreement exercises, you will get it, or any subject verb agreement exercises if you get, please work out at least 10. I'm not asking you more. How many? 10 of them. 10 of them will be more than enough for you to understand, in case you have understood all the background details that are there. In the next class, we'll come up with something else and understand how it's going to go along. Till then, see you. Thank you.